Enshrouded is probably my favorite game of the year so far, and they've just released a huge new roadmap outlining a massive array of changes coming to the game that I think will make Enshrouded one of the best games of all time. Now, they divided their roadmap into two sections. This first section is items coming in the next few updates based on player suggestion, your suggestions. And a lot of these are wonderful things. And I'm going to pick a few here to talk about specifically, because most of them are kind of like, yes, absolutely. They're nice to have. They're fixes, the quality of life stuff. So let's go through a few of the ones that I've picked here I think are going to be absolutely huge to the game. Server user rights, for example, finally we'll be able to open servers to larger groups, maybe even public, and restrict people to their own boxes and bases. Although it's not mentioned directly, I know they are aware and looking to fix the quest progression problems in multiplayer, so one person doesn't progress the entire server for everyone else. This means you might be able to have multiple parties on a single server doing their own thing, and then maybe they can team up every now and again to do one thing together. Having user rights hopefully means that you're going to be able to stop players from coming in, stealing other people's stuff, ruining other people's games on servers that don't have a password or that a large group of people have access to the password of. Furthermore to that, on the same theme, we've now got server settings, which is going to also help open up servers to larger groups, allowing admins to customize settings such as loot and enemy respawn, structured decay, day-night cycles, overall difficulty. Whatever they include in these settings is ultimately going to help make these servers more viable for larger groups or even public play. I really hope that they can bring the server customization on par with, let's say, 7 Days to Die, which it doesn't even have the most customizable servers. With the right server settings, you could really open the door to community servers with themes that have community build projects on them, challenges, so much more. It could really open the door to making Enshrouded a much more community-based experience. Then they've got server portals where you can portal to other servers. This just opens the door even more. Imagine you could build an entire town on one server and fill it with player traders, assuming that we can also have some way of trading things fairly between players. Set up a portal and invite people onto the server to come and buy and sell goods. I mean, you could kind of do that now with manually logging out and into the other server with the same character, but a portal will make it so much more seamless and hopefully really encourage some more roleplay builds. And of course, as I keep saying, community project. Those three in particular have me really excited about the future sustainability of Enshrouded as a long-term group game among lots of small parties, or they keep mentioning the word, they keep saying it, and I'm sorry, it's getting annoying now, but communities. That's enough, right? No more communities. All right. Enemy patrols. One of the things that about Enshrouded's world is it feels like a tomb. Everybody, all the NPCs are kind of like clustered in just specific places. They're just clustered around a POI. You know, you get wolves and you get pigs, and they do somewhat patrolling out in the wild, but otherwise the world, it just feels a bit dead. I mean, it feels like it's full of life, but then you walk around it and you go, Jesus Christ, where is everybody? It's like a bloody graveyard around here. You're excited to see a bandit because you want to go and talk to the bastard. Hello, how's it? Oh, you're killing me. Okay. So enemy patrols, I think it's a simple, silly little thing, but having actual movement out in the world outside of POIs, I think it will actually add a little bit more life to the world and make it feel like it is still moving, even with the shroud choking everything off. I also, and this might be controversial, but I kind of hope that these patrols occasionally attack your base when you're at home, just to spice things up a little bit, you know? You could build this huge base, wonderful base and things like that. Nothing ever happens to it, you know? And I don't want necessarily 7 Days to Die, Horde Nights, or whatever, or Valheim-style attacks or anything like that necessarily. Just the occasional, oh, what's going on out there? Oh, some bandits have rocked up. Okay, let me go murder them. Animal farming is exciting as well. Got to set up that pig farm, right? Got to get to that pig farm. I do wonder if they'll set up a Valheim-style taming where you've got to go out and capture them and then feed them in order to tame them and then they breed. Or whether maybe you just go out and buy them from some of the townfolk NPCs that they're talking about adding. It's going to be interesting to see how they implement this, but I've already built a farmstead in my game, and I'd love to have a paddock, all right? I'd love to have some piggy areas and set the farm and within have an actual function to the barn as well, you know? Maybe you can have some kind of breeding workbench, not an actual workbench, obviously, a pen. Breeding pen, that's the right words. And you can chuck your piggies in there and they get busy. Or something. That would be nice. And either way, animal farming is great, because if you obviously need to go out and get meat, you need to go out and find it. And it's not too bad, you know, you come back with a lot of meat and it keeps you going for a while. Animal farming, however, is going to be really good for those larger groups of people that you play with, and they're all going through freaking, you know, chops like crazy. So I think this is going to be a really good one. It's also going to be really good for the builders as well. It's already really good to have a sort of purpose and a theme behind your builds. Like, I like to build a blacksmith, or I like to build a hunter's cabin or something like that. Now I've got to build something that has a animal paddock involved as well. Brilliant. Love it. Bring it on. And I did mention there the townfolk NPCs, and another thing that they're coming in. So they talk about townfolk NPCs and townfolk pets as well. So, wonderful thing, you're no longer alone with just a few craftspeople to keep you company. There are other survivors in the world. That's wonderful. That's great. I love that. Hopefully, these NPCs aren't just, you know, loitering around a particular area and they don't do anything. Hopefully, they're traders. Hopefully, they wander. Hopefully, they patrol, you know. I have faith, given the state of Enshrouded as it is in early access right now, that they will do all of this properly. But I have a lot of hopes, and a lot of hopes have been dashed previously by other projects, other games, other developers, etc., etc. So I am naturally filled with skepticism whenever I see, this is what we're going to bring. Look at all this amazing stuff. You know, my natural reaction is, yeah, right, you're going to do it wrong. But based on what we've seen in Enshrouded, I do have some faith they're going to do these right. And I just hope that these townfolk NPCs and the pets are done correctly. I don't know what the pets involve. Are they going to follow you around? Do they just sit in your house and... You know, are they a decorative? What? You know, we need more information on this stuff, and I can't wait to see more info on all this stuff. But it's exciting. This is what we've got so far. The mountain biome is the next one, and this, we knew this was coming. And we know that there's only a third of the map is explorable right now. You know, there's a huge amount of map still to come. So the mountain biome is just one. There's more on top of that. There's more to come. So, you know, I can't wait to see it as it's coming in, and I think it's such an amazing thing to be part of this early access and just see this game grow and introduce more and more stuff as you sort of go into it, right? Especially for someone like me who's incredibly slow at playing a game. Like, I haven't even got through the Pillars of Creation yet, you know? So they're already talking about adding the mountain biome. I'm like, yes, I'm ready, because by the time they add it in, I might be ready for it, whereas everybody else has blasted through the game in a couple of weeks, and they're like, well, twiddling their thumbs now. I don't know. But, yeah, bring on the mountain biome. That's going to be great. There's going to be some awesome foes waiting for us in the mountains, I'm sure of it, because they also talk about new enemies and bosses and stuff like that. And no doubt, many of those are going to be in the mountain biome. More proxy crafting. I have groaned about the workbenches like the forge, the smelter, the campfire, etc. not being connected to the proxy crafting system. So it's nice to finally see it's being added. This really took me out of the game, going up to the smelter and going, oh crap, I've actually got to have it in my inventory to make it do stuff. Gosh. Go back to the thing. It's like being at the start of the game and before you have the magic boxes, you know? It's just like, it's a chore. It's a chore. So they're finally adding that to the proxy crafting system. That's good. That's great. I mentioned that specifically because it is a quality of life addition that you're kind of like, yeah, of course. But because how much it took me out of the game, how much it just sort of took me out of the immersion and things like that when it hit me, I wanted to mention it specifically because I think it is that important. Hashtag proxy crafting forever. So, I mean, those are the sort of ones that are coming from the community. Those are community mentioned or community requested features. But of course, the developers, this is their game. So the developers have their own say on what's coming soon as well. So they've got a whole other section down here. Other major features coming this year. Specifically, highlight it. This year. So that's ballsy. I got to say, they have got some ambitious plans in 2024. Given I know how long it takes to develop games, how long it takes to develop patches and big changes and new stuff and things like that, they are boldly claiming that all this is coming this year. So I would like to see that, but I'd like to see it done properly. And if it's going to take longer for it to all be done properly, then take your time, okay? Keen Games, take your time. Do it right, please. We will wait. I will wait patiently. I play things incredibly slowly anyway, so it's no problem. But one of the I just select a couple of these really big things here: sharing and visiting of bases. Okay. Sharing. Let's focus on the sharing word. Okay, so there's potentially two meanings here. Now, I'm choosing to believe the sharing of bases is the sharing of the structure itself, like a blueprint. Okay? Because at the moment, you can already share a base. That's nothing new. You can invite someone into your base. They can share the space. If your name is Laney, you even sleep in my feckin' bed. Get out of my bed, woman. Okay? But you can already share a base with other players if you're on the same server together. So you can access their boxes, yada, yada, yada. We've already spoken about the server settings and user rights and restricting boxes, right? So it makes no sense that the context of the word sharing here is anything but the sharing of the structure itself. And if that is the case, that is fecking huge. One of the greatest things about Enshrouded is the building aspects. But we're not all super talented architects with genius brains. The ability to share other structures that someone else has built, and this is something that makes building games immortal. I'm not kidding you, absolutely immortal. Minecraft, still going bloody strong. Think about it, right? Why? So I hope they integrate this into like Steam Workshop or a similar browser thing where you can literally peruse at your leisure, like shopping for a new fecking condo. What about this one, darling? Oh, it's nice, dear, but it doesn't have the hot tub on the veranda that I like. Shit, this has me so fecking excited, it's unbelievable. Being able to see how other people build is such a good way of improving your own build skills too. And just being able to, like, I don't know, spawn in an entire fecking castle and then just wander around it and going, hey, this is nice. I like what they did with that boulder. That's a nice boulder. Do you know what I mean? So, if this is what they mean by sharing of bases, then it's massive. It's massive. And again, it's another one of those things that I hope they do it correctly. And you can't just, like, go into a menu and go, spawn me a castle, and plop, there it is. You have to actually, like, I don't know, contribute resources to it, or, you know, it with the right amount of build blocks or whatever in your hand, and it adds to it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe it'll be a hologram and you could just add stuff to it. We'll see how they do it. If I'm even correct about the sharing. Visiting of bases. Visiting of bases just sounds like, you know, you're opening up your server temporarily to some smeghead. Come in and go, yes, you're clashing of styles here, darling, yes. You see this color, it just doesn't go with the rug, sweetie, okay? You've got to coordinate, otherwise you're just making an embarrassment of yourself, you know? But yeah, the sharing side of things, that has me pumped. Because I'm assuming, again, we need more details. What does it mean? What does it actually mean? Okay, water. Holy shit, I want water in this game. Purely selfish reasons, of course. I want to create a luxury 5-star hotel with freaking swim-up bars. That's it. That's all I care about. Maybe I need a holiday. Anyway, point is, there's no water in the current game, and I miss it. I really miss it. I know the Shroud ate it. You can see where the water was everywhere, but there has to be somewhere in the world the Shroud hasn't reached yet, right? Like, come on, we have bathtubs and no way to fill them, damn it. I need a bath. It's as simple as that. What the heck? My character stinks. Right, world events. Don't get me wrong. Part of me loves the idea, but there's a bigger part of me that's filled with dread and fear. If Enshrouded becomes a live service game, I don't think that's going to be good for the game. Like, set piece player triggered world events, sure, fine, but I don't want to be logging into my world one day to find Satan standing over my world, bringing his freaking you know what? Just please don't live service this thing where we don't have a choice about shit going down in our worlds, right? To be honest, the more I say it out loud, the less I believe that would be the actual case in Enshrouded. It's just not their style, right? But still, more clarification on this, please, needed. I'm slightly freaking out. Okay? So all the things in this roadmap are like really good quality of life stuff. I've said it before. There's silly things that were missing from the game, stuff that makes you go, but why? Why is this not here? Like named tombstones, for fuck's sake. It's like, whose tombstone is this? I don't know. When did you die? I don't know. I think this is mine. No, that's yours. I picked up your stuff. Sorry. Didn't you have to swap it? And it's just a big pain in the bum. Nameable bases. Obviously. Come on. How was this not a thing? You know, it's silly things like that. So they kind of lasso this all into one thing. Fixes and polishing, of course. That's a kind of a given. So yeah, there's a lot of things. There's another one as well that kind of I wanted to mention but didn't, but the weather system. The weather system goes on hand in hand with the sort of enemy patrols, really, in terms of making the world more alive. And there's lots of other, like, silly little fun things in there. The vanity system, musical instruments, round doors and windows. Yay, potted plants. Love a potted plant, don't get me wrong. So there's a wonderful array of huge changes in here that I'm not specifically talked about, but that are going to be wonderful additions to the game. And this is a freaking huge list of stuff that all of it individually is like, yeah, exciting. Some of it more so than the others, but it's all good. It's all good stuff. Steam Deck support. Don't have one, don't care. Other than that, you know, some of you might have a Steam Deck, so you might be excited about that, you know. But yeah, it's all good stuff. Some of it's, yeah, kind of duh stuff, but there it is. What do you guys think? You know, are there any points I've not mentioned that you think, Spanj, why didn't you talk about this? It's huge. Let me know down below in the comments, because I'd love to chat to you about it. And what do you think about all the things I have talked about today? Do you agree? Disagree? Either case, I want to hear from you. Let me know what you think. Let's have a chat down below. Okay, but I'm already absolutely loving Enshrouded. I really like the game. It excites me every time I spin it up and play it. It's just so fun and enjoyable. And it has so much depth in it, and the building system just adds to that. It's crazy. I can go on about it for days. This roadmap just makes me literally jump up and down with excitement about this game. Because I do genuinely believe that if this is all done correctly, and I do believe that the developers are capable of doing all of this correctly and well, but if they do all of this correctly, and whatever more that they have planned for Enshrouded, the rest of the world, etc., Enshrouded will probably be one of the absolute top best games in the history of time. And I'm not saying that lightly, because I realize what I'm talking about there. Where the fuck did this game come from, eh? Came out of nowhere. It's like, bam, Enshrouded. Suck it. And we're like, whoa! Shit, that's really good. No one expected that. Everybody was hyped about Nightingale. And Nightingale came out and we were like, what? Kind of boring. Whatever. Back to Enshrouded. Yeah. Thank you very much for listening to me to rant on about this this update, guys. I'm hyped. I hope you guys are as well. I hope you guys are enjoying my Enshrouded series. If you've not seen it yet, check it out. Like I said, I am very slow at playing this game, so I'm not even through the Pillars of Creation yet. But if you'd love to join me, I'd love to have you. Thank you very much for listening to me once again. And hopefully, I'll see you next time. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.